before I let go. Ooh, ooh, hey, I just wanna have a good time. What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing on this marvelous, I don't even know what day it is, but it's Uniquely Kai, and I'm back again with another lovely video. And today the topic is, drum roll please, can assist to get a drum roll. Today the video is over albinism, and this is an important topic because if y'all gonna be following me, y'all gonna be subscribed to me, y'all gonna be just around me or just supporting me in general, y'all need to know, like, y'all need to know what goes on with me. And I'm sure some people who don't even know what it is, like, why is she so white? Why she got black features though? Why is her hair curly and why her lips juicy, you know? Nah, I don't know. But yeah, so I'll be getting into all of that. I'll be letting y'all know what albinism is, who it affects, how it affects me. And also, a while back, I asked some of you guys any questions y'all might have about albinism. And there was a couple of y'all that slid up and, you know, y'all asked y'all's questions. So it's about 20 questions. I'll try to get through them really quickly. But those will be later in the video. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this video. Now, the first thing I want to actually say about albinism, because I just got to say this, albinism is not a disease, okay? Because baby, I remember some people used to be like, I'm so sorry, and like, is it raining? Oh, okay, it's raining. Anyway, they were like, I feel bad, you know, like, for what? I'm healthy, I'm perfectly fine. But yeah, so yeah, for starters, y'all, albinism is not a disease. Like, calm down, please. But what albinism is, it is a genetic skin condition, okay? Now there's different types, but for this video's purpose, I'm only going to talk about mine, which is pretty much the most common one. And that's called oculocutaneous albinism. It's a very long word, but that's what it's called. And my albinism, basically, it is a lack of melanin in the skin, hair, and eyes. And if y'all don't know, like, melanin, pigment, same thing that colors, you know, colors everything. But so yeah, that's why I am light. That's why my hair is blonde. That's why my eyes are blue or green, whatever color they are right now. But yeah, and my parents are black. I have dark-skinned parents, so it's like, that's why, okay? If anybody was wondering. Albinism affects about 1 in 20,000 people in the US, you know, but yeah, about 1 in 20,000 people, so it's very rare. I'm sure you can count on your fingers how many people you've met with albinism, unless, you know, you're me and then you have a network of people with albinism. So but yeah, most people have never met somebody with albinism, and or even talked to somebody with albinism. I'm getting a lot of notifications, y'all, so I'm just like, what is going on? At my university, there's about 50,000, so there's only me and maybe two other people that have albinism. But actually, I actually met somebody here with albinism. But she's a little older than me. She might have graduated already. But shout out to Angel. Hey. Also, it affects all races. Okay, it is it's more common in, you know, blacks, African, but it can occur in all races. Okay, because I've met Chinese. A person of Chinese descent with albinism, mixed people. I have a friend who I believe is Mexican and black. So yeah, and ironically, I've met someone who is Caucasian with albinism. Like, that makes no sense to me in my head, but like I said, it happens in all races, but it is more common in like black and African. Now, how albinism affects me, besides like already what I said, besides like me changing my color, my skin, my eyes, hair, and whatever, lacking melanin, lacking pigment, you know, compared to my siblings. They're all dark skin, whatever. There are other side effects to, I guess, to albinism, if you want to call them side effects. My eyes, not the color, but most people, or all I want to say, people with albinism have a visual impairment. Now it varies on like how severe their visual impairment is, but like, yeah, pretty much everybody's affected by it. For me personally, I can see pretty much everything. It's just I believe it's called nearsighted. You know, I'm not even gonna say nothing, but just it's things like when I have to read really like small print, or like focus on really small things, or things that are really far away, that is very hard for me. So in class, in school, I will always sit in the front, and I had special devices if I really wanted them, and I was like allowed to use my phone or tablet or whatever I wanted to bring, because it was like for my vision, you know. So large print tests, if I wanted them, I would get them as well. And also like extended time, because like having to focus like hard on a test, and it's already like, a test is already stressful at that, and then having bad vision, you have to focus harder, you know, so they will give you like extra time. Well, I'm also yeah, photophobic. I don't know what I'm saying. It sounds wrong in my head, but I think I'm saying the right thing. Anyway, but like my eyes are very sensitive to light. I'm surprised that I'm not like tweaking out right now, because I have like 2 lights for this video. I kind of didn't notice at first, but when I'm outside, I naturally just like put my head down and like walk with my head down. Not because like the floor is interesting or anything, but the sun is like very bright and it's bothering me. I don't really notice, because I guess I've been doing it for so long. So yes, so most people wear shades. And also to protect the skin, you want to wear sunscreen, you want to wear protecting like clothes, hats, things like that, you know, to protect your skin, because we are very prone to skin cancer because we can't tan or anything. We are only 2 colors ever in life, white or red. There's no in between. There's nothing else like white or red. Yeah, besides just being white, blind, and sensitive to light, that's pretty much all that my albinism affects. Most people actually don't even know that I have like albinism, or not albinism, but most people don't even know that I have a visual impairment, because like I move around like a normal person, so they never think anything until like I'm like, hey, I can't see that, like like y'all can't see that, remind y'all, blind person over here. But yeah. Oh, actually, I did just think of something. Oh, I got it. My nystagmus. Okay. Yeah, I have nystagmus. If I focus on this camera and I look at y'all, y'all can understand what y'all probably see it before I even tell y'all what it is. I'm going to stare for like, I'm going to be weird and stare at y'all for like 5 seconds. How you doing? But anyway, that was probably less than 5 seconds. But nystagmus is like the involuntary movement of the eyes. So my eyes just kind of like do this, shake back and forth like all day. I don't believe they do that when I sleep, but yeah, they just shake, well, they just move back and forth all day. And people always ask me like, oh, is your world like jumping back and forth? And no, it's not. Like I would have a headache all the time if that was the case. Since it's been doing that since birth, that my brain has adjusted, you know, to the movement. So everything is still. All right, so somebody was like, so what does that mean for your kids? Like, how do your kids turn out? So I'm about to bring y'all to science class, okay? Welcome to Miss Cooper's Science Class 101 on genetics, okay? Yeah, so if y'all remember the Punnett square and things like that, I'm going to be just throwing in some pictures here just to show y'all what I'm talking about. So for albinism to happen, albinism, for starters, is a recessive gene. Both parents have to have the albinism gene in order to even have a child with albinism. So both of my parents are normal skin. They don't have albinism, so that makes them, we're gonna use A for is it genotype or phenotype? Lord, I don't even know. But yeah, we're gonna use A, big A and little a. So they obviously, that's what they have to be, big A and little a, because they had me, so that means they have the gene. Anyway, so they're both big A, little a, both of them. That gives them a 25% chance of having a kid with albinism. And that's me. And they have a 50% chance of having a child that carries the gene. So my brothers and sisters, they could possibly carry the albinism gene, but none of them were affected by it. None of them have albinism. So they could possibly have the gene, or there's 25% chance that they didn't have it. So that they don't have it. But as for me, how that affects me as if I was to have a kid, but we not worried about kids. What Michael Jordan said? Anyway, y'all know. If I was to have a baby by someone with someone that doesn't have albinism in their family, or they don't have the gene at all, so they would be big A, none of our kids would have albinism, but I'm trying to do it in my head, but they would all be carriers. Yeah, they will all be carriers of the gene, but none of them will have albinism, and none of them will not have the gene. Anyway, I'm just saying all of them will be carriers, 100% carriers. That's all. If I was to have a kid with someone who was a carrier, now that gives a 50%. Yeah, that gives me a 50% chance of having a child with albinism. And 50% chance of having a child with albinism, and a 50% chance of having a carrier, a child who carries the albinism gene. Oh, but when it comes to me having a kid with someone who also has albinism, oh, you gotta look. That baby just white. That baby is just white. There ain't no getting around it. There's 100% chance of albinism. I actually know a couple on Facebook who have albinism, and their child has albinism, because people with albinism can only make children with albinism. You know, you can't make a child with melanin from people who don't have melanin. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so that's the genetics behind it. I'm just thinking of, I know some people who have albinism with normal skin children. I believe Diandra Forrest, she has normal skin children. They might be carriers, who knows? But people with albinism are normal people. And okay, well, let me say something. So for y'all to like not offend anybody, I don't really get offended, because I know like some of y'all don't know and y'all don't understand. But it's better to ask somebody, do you have albinism, instead of saying, are you albino? Because saying, are you albino, kind of feels like you're separating us from humanity. Like, are you a monkey, or are you like something, like other than a human? No, I'm a human. I am a person with albinism. So people like to go by person with albinism, so I'll correct people, but like it doesn't offend me. So now that y'all know, instead of asking somebody, oh, are you albino, ask, do you have albinism? And that's how I respond back to the question. When they ask me, are you albino, I say, yes, I have albinism. Just so, the next time, if they encounter anybody else with albinism, that they know what to say. Because some people, like I said, do get offended by that. So, which is very, y'all have to understand that, everybody wasn't raised the same. So, you don't want to feel, or as somebody with albinism, you want to feel accepted. So you don't want to be pushed to the side, make it seem like that you are something that should be like in a museum, or like, you're just so different that you just always have to be noticed by being in a certain category, you know? But like, no, I am a human. I am normal just like you. I just happen to be white. I just happen to be blind. Okay? But yeah. Other than that, like I said, we're normal people. Now I'm going to get into the questions that you guys asked me. We're going to try to run through these really quickly because I know I've been talking for a minute. But yeah, we're going to get there.